I'm Byron, a data scientist at Wake Forest University School of Medicine, and I'm going to show you today how to use the NHANES blood pressure and hypertension web application to reproduce a paper that was published in 2020 that looked at trends in blood pressure control among US adults with hypertension. We're going to reproduce table 2 from this paper, which you can see here. And this table shows the age-adjusted mean systolic and diastolic blood pressure categories among US adults with hypertension. We're going to reproduce this table using our Shiny application here. And I'm going to go through step by step and show how we get the results. So first, our table is showing age-adjusted results, and it gives the weights that are used to adjust for age. So I'm going to put that data into the web application. So you'll notice that I can just click this button that says age adjustment by standardization, and then it pops up with the categories for different age groups. And I have to put in the weights that are given by the table. So those weights are 15.5, 45.4, so it's 15.5, 45.4, and 21.5 and 17.7. 21.5, 17.7. All right. So the table also looks at all of these NHANES cycles from 1999 through 2000 up until 2017 through 2018. I have slightly more recent NHANES data. So I'm going to select all the cycles just like the paper. But I just want to point out that I have a cycle that's 2017 through 2020, which is slightly different from the cycle that the paper had, which was 2017 through 2018. So that gives me all the cycles that I need. Now, next up, the paper is looking at a specific subset of NHANES participants. And so I am going to create that same subset by making some exclusions. And so I'm going to say I'm going to make 2 exclusions. And for the first exclusion, I'm going to exclude pregnant women because that's a different population than the one that we want to analyze. So I'm going to include participants who had a value of no for pregnant and also a value of missing for pregnant. So these are the people I'll include. Next, I'm going to include people that have hypertension. Hypertension defined by the 7th JNC guideline specifically. And so this should give me the same population as the paper. And now I'm going to pick my outcome. So to get to the outcome that I want, I first have to pick the type of outcome. So I can see that there are several types, but the type that I want is blood pressure. Now I want to look at blood pressure categories. So I'm going to pick my specific outcome variable to be blood pressure category. And last, this is already done for me, but I'm going to select the statistics that I want to compute. I can compute percentages, and I can also compute counts, but all I want is percentages to replicate the table. And so the last thing I need to do is push this button at the top of the application that says compute results. So when I do that, a figure will be generated for me. And the figure is going to show me the same data that are shown in the table, although it's visualizing the data, so it's a little bit different. But I can show you here, 1999 through 2000, we have 48.2% of US adults estimated to be in this blood pressure category, which is having a SBP of 140 to less than 160, or a DBP of 90 to 100. And I'll just double click that to kind of simplify the graph a little bit, right? So it's 48.2. Now let's check that number in the table. So in the table, we see 140 to 159, 90 to 99, blood pressure category. And we get an estimate of 48.2 with a 95% confidence interval of 44.3 to 52.1. So 48.2 is a match. And we can also check and see that the confidence interval is a match. We just have to hover our mouse over the part of the table or part of the figure that we want to get data from. And then we can see the 95% confidence interval is given. It's 44.3 to 52.1, just like the table. All right, so this has been a replication of table 2 from this paper published in 2020. And you can read more about the code that we use to run this application in the article below.